something new. See through your hair. You haunt my dreams. There's nothing to do but believe. Just believe. Just breathe.
You're listening here live on the coolest of the cool, the Koolykool Show. Your host, Brent. We're kicking it here live on Sunday Night Vibes.
I'm used to it by now.
Yep, Sunday Night Vibes here on the coolest of the cool, the Koolykool Show. Your host, Brent. You're listening to Breathe by Telepop Musk.
Just breathe. Just believe. Just breathe. Lying in my bed.
Sunday Night Vibes, we're just kicking it, starting it off because Sunday night's usually kind of a chill, so gonna break on some nice jams, kind of mellow you out before the brunt of the work week starts pretty soon, which is tomorrow.
Just breathe.
I hope each and every one of you had a great weekend. I hope you got things accomplished that you were looking to get accomplished. Hope you got things that you want to get done. So, like I said, listen here live on the coolest of the cool, the Koolykool Show. Yep, you're listening here live on the coolest of the cool, the Koolykool Show. Your host, Brent. You can also follow us on our social media platform. We're also on, follow me on Twitter at Koolykool2412. You follow me on my TikTok channel. It's the Koolykool Show. You can also follow me on my YouTube channel, which automatically, my podcasts are automatically uploaded to my YouTube channel at the Koolykool Show. You can also follow me at Instagram. Instagram name is Brent the Champ. Yes, the Champ. So, here, live on the coolest of the cool, the Koolykool Show, here live on this Sunday night, September 12th, 2021. And we go from coast to coast, from north to south, and even, hopefully, in Antarctica. And as I always say, if you're hearing this from Antarctica, definitely give me a shout, contact, a message, and also, I want to know what you hear. I want to know what time it is down in Antarctica, down in the coldest place, south. So, usually on Sunday Night Vibes, it's kind of a mellow out. It's kind of not really much going to talk about, a lot of the stuff that I talk about early in the week. This is more just kind of things that are coming to conclusion to the end of the regular week, even though the actual week starts today on Sunday. But the work week doesn't start until Monday. So, as always, if you haven't been told that already, you are special, and I hope you're doing well. And I'd like to thank you, each and all of my listeners out there, for listening. You guys are awesome. Wait, Let me say it one more time. You guys are awesome. Yep. And that's me giving you a standing ovation, all of you. So, we got a lot of kind of things we're just kind of mellow, just kind of talk about. It's more of a lot of crazy things that are going on in the news today. It's not really going to be one thing where it's a main topic, so to speak, which is probably going to take up the whole thing. It's not going to be that. This is Sunday Night Vibes. You follow my Sunday Night podcast. I like to try to divvy it up, try to do little different types of things, like to incorporate a lot of other things into it, make it a little funny, I think probably the only one serious one is kind of, I'll address it in a minute. But if you not already know that yesterday was the 20th anniversary of the attack on September the 11th, 2001. The World Trade Centers were hit. It's a devastating. Pretty sure if during that time period, majority, if not almost everybody, remembers almost exactly where you were at during that time period. I certainly do remember where I was at when the attacks happened on 9/11. It's a historical thing that happened that changed the world, that changed our lives forever. And it will not ever be forgotten. Countless, many people lost their lives. Innocent people. And we pay respects to those who perished during those attacks. And we also pay tribute to our first responders that went in without hesitation to do a job that they knew would maybe someday might have to come up, but they did it in the better good to save others without hesitation. And to thank also our military personnel here in the States and abroad. We thank you for all of your service, your sacrifices for the better good of our country and our way of life. So, I'd like to thank each and every one of you. Thank you. Now, just like I said, this past week we've had a lot of things go on, a lot of weird things happen, a lot of good things. A lot of people know that the NFL season kicked off this week on Thursday Night Football with the Dallas Cowboys going to Tampa and playing against the defending Super Bowl champs, Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The game was a very good, close one. If you watched it, it was a finale. I am a Cowboys fan. Yes, you can make fun of me for being a Cowboys fan, but that is all right. I've already come to terms with the fact that I shall be made fun of for being a Cowboys fan. But, I take it with pride because guess what? As much as you don't like the Cowboys, as much as you love the Cowboys. Because you have to love the Cowboys enough to want to make fun of the Cowboys. Because, trust, people will say, oh, the Cowboys. But either way, and theoretically, I thought that the game was fantastic. The Buccaneers pulled it out. Tom Brady, you leave him with any seconds on time on the clock, guaranteed Tom Brady is going to be, he's got money. He's going to be making that, the final score of the Cowboys and the Buccaneers was 31-29. But Dak Prescott and the Cowboys looked phenomenal. Looked outstanding. Offense was clicking on all cylinders. I believe Dak Prescott had like 400 yards passing. Tom Brady had like 390 some yards passing. Somewhere around there. It was crazy, ridiculous numbers. It was a good game all the way around, even though the kicker for the Cowboys kind of booted the first he booted an easy one. But then again, nothing's easy in the NFL. And then he booted an extra point. I know if he had booted the third one, they'd probably be calling and saying, what is the deal? Or more or less, many of us football people would know. But like, okay, he's on the chopping board now. But, like I said, it was a good game. It was a really good game. Kicked off the start of the 2001 NFL season. NFL's first NFL Sunday of the season started today. Teams were playing. Teams were looking good. There's a lot of kind of things that didn't really see was going to happen, but really kind of shocked a lot of people. Kind of was like, wow, I didn't expect that one. Really good. For one, I did get a chance to watch the Chiefs and Browns game. Now, when I watched the Chiefs and Browns game, the Browns looked good. They went against the Chiefs. The final score was 33-29. Chiefs were able to pull out the win in this one, but man, was the Browns looked good. Baker Mayfield, man, I'm going to tell you right now, that team is going to be a team that in their division, they're going to have to be looking at them because they looked good. Chiefs, I think they had a little too many penalties. I think it's kind of getting the football jitterbugs out the way. A lot of penalties, a lot of mistakes, but they were able to pull out the win. And it's always been a trade known that, the good teams are always going to win the close ones. And that's exactly the primary example of what the Chiefs did today. They didn't play their best, but they're a good team. And they're a good team, and the good teams will always win the close one. And that's exactly what happened. They won the close ones. They won the one they were supposed to win. So, it's a little bit of the football talk. Because I don't know, I could talk football all day long, but I need some feedback on what a lot of people want to talk about. I could sit here and talk about different types of things, but I like to talk about different topics, different things going on around the circuit. Matter of fact, I actually just got finished before starting my podcast because I usually kind of prep up for my podcast, and I do it like a kind of about an hour in advance, and then once I got down what I want to talk about and what how I'm going to direct it as far as the flow, what I'm going to do, pick my songs out. I was actually finishing watching up an old classic horror movie from back in the 90s. I'm pretty sure majority of you guys, unless some of you guys are part of the Generation X or something, I don't know. These would ones be born in like the late 90s and early 2000s. But I was watching a really old one. It was I Know What You Did Last Summer. And having not seen that for a while, actually watching it just recently, it's actually kind of funny. I know somebody's saying it's not supposed to be funny, but oh man, some of those horror movies you gotta look at it and you watch back in nowadays, like back in the day, it's supposed to be presumed, supposed to be scary, kind of leave you on the edge of your seat, kind of like, oh, the guy's he's wearing one of them, fisherman slicker jackets, and he's got a hook that he's terrorizing these, teens, and you're kind of like, oh, okay, but in reality, you look at it like that, it's classic horror film genre, because I don't know whether it's me or where the things are going now these days has shifted to kind of the horror scene, back from, I'm going to say the 90s and down, like the 90s, 80s, and 70s. The horror genre was a little bit different. If you like horror movies and you follow horror movies, you could tell how certain things work in, pace and scale, and see how certain things are. In the early 2000s, you still had the kind of horror genre, but it was kind of a little shifted. It was kind of a lot of quirky, kind of fun, but yet still, with it. And then you started getting to the early 2000s, late in the 2000s, it kind of shifted to let's see, I'm trying to think the perfect word to say this. I'm thinking paranormal. Is that the word? Paranormal kind of activity kind of type movies, kind of more of like a supernatural type of movies where kind of it's can be scary if you're at home sitting and in the dark with scary figures and things like that. It might make your mind race because you're like, I don't know if this thing's looking at me or not because I see this doll's eye following me. I'm across the table and it's still locked on me. It kind of be like, I don't want to be left alone. I want to turn the lights on in my house because I'm scared. But the earlier genre horror movies kind of had one base kind of serial killer that was going around doing things, and they had such a grasp on, okay, this guy's doing this, and it was hip. And as it was hip, you saw sequels come from this. Because, first of all, I mean, I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's a cult classic. Then they came out with I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. It's the sequel to I Know What You Did Last Summer. And for some of you that may not know this, they actually came out with I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer. Which is the third installment. Which at this point in time, if you've ever seen it, which I have seen it, I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer is basically he's a ghost or something. Or a super entity, whatever. And he's coming for blood and he's trying to mess him up. And apparently he's at a ski resort. I don't know how he got to the ski resort because he was doing things in North Carolina as far as what I remember. That's the first one. And then they ended up going to a trip down into the Bahamas or something like that during the kind of hurricane season where there was nobody on the resort. But this third one, apparently they was in a ski resort. So I guess he's able to travel and catch a flight and go skiing while also terrorizing. So I don't know. That one was kind of it didn't really have me laughing as the first two that I was watching. Like I said, I Know What You Did Last Summer is a cult classic. I was watching it, and Ryan Phillippe's in it, and he's one of my favorite actors. He was, I guess they gave his part and they said, hey, your job is to be a complete douchebag, as the character Barry is, and just do whatever you feel is being a douchebag. And he hit that to the T, man. But at the same time he hit it at the T, it was like, you don't like him as the character, but goddamn, he's funny as shit. And you're like, man, this guy is completely hilarious. The stuff he was saying, the attitude, the look, the way he was just flying off the hinges. You had Jennifer Love Hewitt who was in it, which was kind of her, she was part of the, I forgot what the term they used back in the days in the 90s was, like Scream Queen or something like that. Or was that the Nev Campbell with the Scream? I don't know. I can't remember. It was something that went along the lines because they were popping out horror movies with sequels. Boom, 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 one after another. And you had my man, Freddie Prinze Jr., who was in there, with his now wife, Sarah Michelle Gellar. It's crazy how I know these names because they were so prevalent back during that time period. It was like you knew who these people were. It's just freaking crazy when you think about it. I mean, like I said, the horror genre back then was different. I mean, you had a killer who was doing certain things. Like I said, when I was watching this movie today, watching Under the Summer, I was rolling at the end of the movie, I was rolling, man. I was laughing. Like, he was stepping out, blocking her. He was like not even missing the beat. He was walking. And she's running. Like Sarah Michelle Gellar was running at one part, across a field, getting to like a store or something. And this man didn't even break a sweat. He was straight up walking. I don't know what he was doing, long strides or not, but he was straight up walking. And he was like, and I was just like, man, dude's off the chain. I mean, and then on top of that, how he got in, I don't even know how he got in. But then he sliced somebody up, and then he had enough time to hide under like a tarp or something like that, and then jump out and do a scare thing, and then stand there and look like, yeah, I'm in my jacket thing, I'm gonna get you anyway. It just, that was the comical, kind of thing that I got at it. I can't say for everybody, but that's what I got it. But it was good comedy. It was good funny, just some of those. And one of the good '90s classics is Scream. If you see the first Scream, it's awesome. Now I gotta say, it's the scariest film. It's really not that scary. It's just a kind of new breed of scary genre. Or not scary new genre, but just a new breed of kind of horror movie. It was hip, it's like the boyfriend was doing it and he was mad because, his mom was banging freaking somebody. She was banging everybody in the neighborhood or something like that, and he was mad and all type of shit. So he decided to take his rage out by just going some whack ass shit. I don't know. I mean, at one time you kind of wonder, but at the same time the movie was good, and especially with the one you like, my mom's gonna be so mad at me. It was completely funny, and just like I said, some movies is just off the chain with stuff. And I'm not sure if they're not another Scream. I thought I did hear something in the works as another Scream. I don't know if there's going to be another one, but I would love to maybe see if there is, and be kind of excited, but then kind of like they've beaten that down with a dead horse, I guess. I mean, it goes back in data. You got the Freddy's, Nightmare on Elm Streets, which I still watch a couple of those, and those movies are comical. Freddy's kind of fell off the map of being really scary. He's just, if you don't really think about some of these horror films, he's just completely, you look back at it now, it's funny as hell. Freddy, but I would say they kind of lost track where they were going with some of these movies, because then Freddy was doing some off-the-wall clown stuff, but it was still entertaining. That's the thing about it. Like Jason, entertainment. Just entertaining. Hockey mask. Then at one point he was with Jason in Manhattan. I guess Jason decided to go see New York. And while he was in New York, he had a vendetta with some people and was like, I gotta go school some people. They had the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then they had the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 Bloodlines or something like that. Then you had the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Generation. Like I said, they just keep going on with stuff. It's just a lot of these old time movies. If you haven't seen it in a while and then you come back to watch it again a couple years later, you'd be like, man, back in the day, you watching it, it wasn't as funny, but it was a good movie. But you look back and like, man, I can't believe this was a hit. But it was good. Like Killer Clowns from Outer Space. If you've seen the movie Killer Clowns from Outer Space, you know how completely batshit crazy that movie is. And you completely many people have phobias against clowns. I'm not one that has a phobia against clowns. When somebody says, it's a clown, I'm thinking maybe the person's acting stupid. Because now that's the terminology. People are like, man, that dude a clown. But if you've seen the movie Killer Clowns from Outer Space, you're kind of like wondering, like, what the hell? You look at it and like, you're shaking your head, and you're kind of wondering, be like, I could have came up with something better than that, and maybe have gotten my movie production funded for millions of dollars, and been a mega success compared to Killer Clowns in Outer Space with popcorn coming alive, and just rummaging through and eating stuff. And don't get me started on the special effects, because that's the time back then with the special effects. But like I said, you look back at it now, and you pretty much kind of shaking your head, like, what in the hell? It's quite when it's mind-boggling, it's kind of like, well, what's you gonna do? Yeah, what's you gonna do? Just look at it and just like, that was the stuff back then. That was good. That was good. I don't know. Not harping back on the Jason, but I remember watching the movie Jason X, and Jason X apparently goes in outer space, and when I tell you, like I said, these horror genre movies were often on another level. And Jason X, I think the last one came out in probably 2000 or something like that, maybe 99 or 2002 or I don't know. But he was in space. Okay, for some odd reason Jason was in space, and in one part I got this new thing, whatever. Jason looked like a goddamn bodybuilder. He had been looking like he'd been putting time and effort and work in the gym, which I'm an avid person that likes to go to the gym and work out and keep nice physique. But at the same time, Jason looked like he was in there 7 days a week. And he was not taking PEDs. He was taking straight roids. Okay? So, he looked at least like he could bench press 350. Okay? And I don't know what they were doing with that, but he was like, ugh. It was completely... It, to me, was funny. That's how I perceived it. Because, like I said, some of these horror movies, you kind of you look at it like, what the heck? Now, I'll tell you one movie that when I was growing up, when I was watching, and I was a little kid, that was the movie Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Get through the job. Ah. I tell you, that movie, The Predator, that movie was, I would say, for watching it as a kid, that movie kind of was scary as shit. And the reason why is because the setting of it, they were in the jungle. It was an elite commandos that were on a mission. And you had the Predator, who was camouflage. And he was big, and he was just kind of reptilian, and then you got to see his face when he took his thing off, and you were like, holy shit, that's an ugly motherfucker, and you were like, whoa, that was like, that could be like, that's kind of scary, you're like, holy crap. But then with anything, they made the sequel and they Predator 2, and I guess they lost track of what they were doing, and they were just like, Predator 2, and then they came with some more of the Predators, and then the recent Predator not too long ago, like a couple years ago, and I think they lost from where they originally went from, having this scary, hunter like, menacing creature from another planet who is elite hunters, and that's frightening as hell. And they took it some other direction where it's like, oh gosh, it's like, it's pretty crazy. So but we hit our little halfway point. I'm gonna go get something to drink, and then we're gonna talk about some crazy other things that I've noticed lately, and we're gonna talk about a little bit about boxing and celebrity boxing, more or less than that, and we're gonna talk about some of these, like, we had celebrity boxing over the weekend. That's why I'm bringing this up, where acclaimed former champions boxing and get knocked out. And we'll talk about a little bit more than that later on, and then we'll talk about the Ashton Kutcher and the chance of Take a Shower, and we'll talk about that a little bit on in just a second. Like I said, I'm gonna go get something to drink, as I always say at my half. I'm gonna go get something to drink. Stay tuned. Stay here with us live here on the Koolest, the Koolykool Show. Your host, Brent. We'll be right back. You're listening here live on the Coolest of the Cool, the Koolykool Show. Your host, Brent. We're here on all cylinders from coast to coast, from north to south, and even in Antarctica. And if you're in Antarctica and you're hearing my podcast, please give me a shout out. You can also contact me send me email at koolykool1212@gmail.com. You can also follow us on our social media platform at TikTok channel, The Koolykool Show, or you can also follow me on my YouTube channel with my podcast automatically uploaded to my YouTube channel, as that's at The Koolykool Show. Or you can also follow me on my Instagram at Brent the Champ. And I also post on Twitter, and that's at Koolykool2412. You're listening to Summer Days by Nick Holder. All right. Back here, listening live on the Coolest of the Cool, the Koolykool Show. Your host, Brent. Yep, on Sunday Night Vibes. More mellow, more kind of talking about crazy, funny, entertaining things here on the Coolest of the Cool, the Koolykool Show. You know, Sunday night vibes is what we like to do. Every Sunday night, we try to make a little piece a little better. Get the work week started for some of y'all that are listening out here. And trust me, we appreciate each and everything you guys do out there. And I appreciate y'all for listening to my podcast. I know it may be a little bit late at night, but we like to make sure you guys are feeling all right going into the work week starting tomorrow on Monday. So that's why we do what we do. All right, you can hear me? All right. Now, so... Sunday night vibes. Alright, so I left off before going and get something to drink. So I was talking about as far as boxing, celebrity boxing. I know many people have kind of questions about these celebrity boxing, what's going on. Let me just get it first as far as the celebrity boxing that we know so much about right now that's going on. So if you didn't follow this weekend, or you didn't kind of hear, you had two celebrity boxing bouts that were kind of pulled into the mainstream or somewhat sub-mainstream. You had former heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield, or former heavyweight champion Evander, the real deal, Holyfield versus MMA legend Vitor Belfort. This is a boxing contest. That one was this weekend, and the other one that was a celebrity boxing, but kind of exhibition, they were boxing, was former MMA, UFC, lightweight champion Tito Ortiz versus MMA, UFC. Former middleweight champion Anderson Silva. This is the ones that we had so far. Now, I'm going to go down a list as far as the one that's kind of been going on, and I'll get out to where I'm really going to talk about this real quick. So, we had, I believe it was last year, Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. boxing match. Both these guys will pass their prime, but still in phenomenal shape. You had Floyd Money Mayweather versus Logan Paul. That was took place not too long ago, 2 months ago. Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley, which was a couple of weeks ago. And also, I believe last year, you had Aaron Carter. If you remember Aaron Carter, he was featured on a lot of shows, and they tried to say that he wasn't. He tried to say he wasn't using prescriptions unnecessarily. Versed against Lamar Odom, which is the former husband of Khloe Kardashian. They had a boxing match. I think it was last year, the year before. They had a boxing match. So their boxing match was celebrity. A lot of these celebrity boxing matches that have been kind of, I don't know. It's just been kind of frankly weird. And, I think the main thing is a lot of these celebrities do, they understand the draw of boxing and how boxing gets a lot of money that is put into these bouts. Because honestly, you see a lot of these UFC legends, UFC fighters that actually have kind of trickled over towards the boxing side. And one of the main reasons is because as a mixed martial artist and competing in the UFC and a lot of these other mixed martial organization promotions, they don't get paid as the amount of money as professional boxers do. Now, if you follow any type of combat sports, you know that boxing is the breadwinner in that, and it's going to be the breadwinner in that. And mixed martial arts has been trying to get up to the salary as where boxing is. And a lot of these mixed martial arts promotions don't give their guys, their fighters, the same amount or close to the amount that they, should be getting. And that comes down to a lot of public, a lot of politics involved in that. So you see some of these guys, but the ones we're seeing is with the celebrity boxing match. This is funny. Like Evander Holyfield got knocked, he got TKO'd, but on one occasion he threw a punch. I believe he's trying to swing hard, and he almost fell out the ring. Yeah, he almost fell out the ring. Tito Ortiz was fighting, and as he was fighting, it seemed he wasn't doing everything he needed to do, and then ended up getting hit with a right hook and went to sleep. I mean, just a couple of years ago, he had his third bout with Chuck the Iceman Liddell, and I guess he got his vindication, his revenge on him by drawing him into a mixed martial art competition and then knocking him out cold. So I don't know what's going on. I mean, it's these. I don't know whether they're seeing the money aspect in the boxing part, and even if they do it as a celebrity thing, they still gonna kind of bank more money than what they would get by doing it alone. Because, like I said, it said supposedly Tyrone Woodley got paid for fighting Jake Paul more money than he's ever made as far as in one bout with being in a mixed martial arts contest. So you can kind of understand some of these guys looking at aspect if they're going to do something as violent and as kind of where you can get knocked at any point. These guys are going to go to somewhere they can make money right off the bat and then be like, okay, well, I made a whole bunch for just one fight. And if I have to do this where guys get to kick me, knee me, elbow me, throw me to the ground, toss me, try to choke me out and put me in a submission hold, break my ankle, all that type of stuff. And I'm getting not even nearly half of that pay. Shoot, and all I got to do is box. Whoo, I'm going where the money at, bro. So that's one thing. I got two more incidents I found out. Apparently, Ashton Kutcher, it was TMZ. Ashton Kutcher is met with a lot of chants that people were saying take a shower when he attended the Iowa State and University of Iowa football game this Saturday. Don't know all about that. What's going on? I mean, the man says he doesn't really shower that often. I don't know if that's actually entirely true. He's just punking everybody. So Conor McGregor gets into a little squabble with Machine Gun Kelly, the rapper, and I don't know what he's doing in a squabble. They were at the VMAs red carpet, and a kind of skirmish broke out when Machine Gun Kelly pushed Conor. I guess he was trying to take advantage of him because knowing that Conor's just now a little bit fully healthy from his surgery had done on his leg. So I don't know. I mean, Machine Gun Kelly, if he's doing that, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Conor McGregor, he's probably going to get you again later on. So I probably wouldn't do that. But then again, what do I know? You know what I'm saying? Just saying. Not a really good idea to go and press that man, and thinking, he's not going to retaliate against you. So, but yeah, I guess it is what it is. You know what I mean? But, yeah, I'm still looking for Bigfoot. I'm still wondering where he's at. If anybody can let me know where Bigfoot's at, let me know. And if aliens are, what are they doing? We're still looking for them. And also, what's going on with these asteroids? Please give me some information on these. Let me know. I want to know. I need to know, because these are a lot of things that people are talking about that a lot of people don't want to mention, but I'm understanding, and well, that song means Under Your Spell by Desire. That means we come toward the end of our podcast. Once again, I'd like to thank each and every one of my listeners from out there listening and joining my podcast and liking and subscribing and following me. You guys are what keeps me going. I like to keep you guys under my spell. Yes, I do. That's why I like to play this song. It's awesome. So, if I haven't said it already, thank you for joining me on the Coolest of the Cool, the Koolykool Show. Your host, Brent. Make sure you follow me on my other social media platform. You can follow me on Twitter at Koolykool2412. You can follow me on Instagram page at Brent the Champ. You can also follow me on my TikTok channel and my YouTube channel. Both named the same thing, the Koolykool Show, where my videos and podcasts are automatically uploaded to my YouTube channel. So, I want to each and one of you, thank you for listening to my podcast, and I want you guys to have a safe and good start to your week coming ahead. And as always, if I haven't told you already, you're awesome. Thank you. You heard it live on the Coolest of the Cool, the Koolykool Show. Your host, Brent.
Hey.
Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
I was wondering, do you know the difference between love and obsession? No. And what's the difference between obsession and desire? I don't know. Do you think this feeling can last forever? You mean like forever, ever? Forever, ever? Forever, ever? Forever, ever? Sure. God, I hope so. Me too.